You hear me talk a lot about how working with patients while we're trimming the nails, we get to have lots of really great conversations. And this is an example of a professor of business talking to me about an idea that I've been moving forward with a biomedical engineer to help our diabetic and neuropathic patients who cannot see the bottoms of their feet be able to see them at home and take pictures of them. So why is this important? Well, if you wait at the end of the video, I kind of talk a little bit about the problems with diabetes and amputations and give you some statistics that might make it pretty clear why we need to worry about our patients with diabetes and their feet. So I hope you enjoy the video, and once we get our device to market, we'll let you know. Device that helps our diabetic patients see the bottoms of their feet better. So we looked into SBIR grants, and it's just, I mean, we're still going to go for it, but it's a lot of work. And it appears that when we did our patent search, that there's something somewhat similar out there, but maybe not. But even if we can't patent it, it doesn't mean we can't make it. So, yeah, so it'll be a really cool device, and there is a group here in town that it might be right up their alley for financing.
Oh, wow.
And so
yeah, there's some good angel financiers for medical device stuff.
Right, and so we're not at that point yet. We're making our second prototype to get into people's homes right now.
Oh, wow.
And have a list of about almost 20 people who said they would do it. So we'll see how that works for them.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
What were we going to ask?
Oh, so have you figured out your marketing strategy?
Not yet. My partner, who's the engineer, he said, can you give me some names of other podiatrists who would talk to me to find out if their experience of diabetic patients not being compliant with checking the bottoms of their feet every day is universal, so that I can say, well, we talked to 12 podiatrists and they all agree.
Yeah.
So the marketing strategy is going to be a low enough price that people can just buy it, but also to market to the people who would recommend it.
Right, that you have to get influencers.
Right. So endocrinologists, podiatrists, like that.
How bad is the problem in the population?
Well, according to statistics, there's an amputation happening every 5 minutes
Jeez.
in diabetics. And the statistics that we know are that, with diabetes becoming a much bigger problem, that that there's going to be a lot of people losing limbs. And once you lose your leg from a diabetic infection,
it goes down.
within 2 years, 50% of those lose the other leg, and within 2 years, 50% of them are dead.
Yeah.
So the goal is to not get the infections and wounds that lead to the infection in the first place. So, yeah. So,
Okay, so you've done your research on that.
oh yeah.
This doesn't sound like it would be
You know what? I can't hear you. Hang on a minute.
okay, all right.
Okay. You having itching here?
No, do I have athlete's foot?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
The little polka dots that we see here. Are you able to see that? Right there. Along with the dry scaling and peeling.
I'll get some more spray.
Yeah, that's consistent with athlete's foot. So let's just go ahead and we'll trim these little calluses here. That there's not much that needs it here. So what were you going to say while we were drilling?
Well,
Sorry, sanding.
the other play is, would this be used by people in nursing homes and, you know?
Not necessarily, because the staff there should be doing the checking every day.
Do they get sued because they don't? What I'm looking for is there a handle into commercial buyers or professional buyers?
You know, I don't think so, because again, in the nursing home, these are for patients who live, the device is for patients who live on their own.
Okay.
And just for whatever reason, whether it's arthritis or they've had a knee replacement or they just can't see that far, it's for people who live alone but are not checking the bottoms of their feet.
Okay.
So if there's any concern, like at a nursing home, it would be way easier for somebody just to look at it than to need to use this device.
Well, what I was thinking about was
Yes.
if you could, you know, I don't want to complicate it, but if you added a camera, then you would have documentation.
Well, we do. That's the whole.
Okay,
yeah.
well then the idea is if there is a need for documentation in terms of
To say there was nothing there.
right, or to judge progression, or you know, it's really hard to go consumer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing it right, going for the influencers. But it is a lot easier if there's a driver outside of the, you know, the nominal value, whatever value there is of whatever device you're using. If there's a regulatory or a avoid litigation kind of thing, that drives your sales.
I'm wondering though, to use it in a nursing home. I'm just playing devil's
Well, maybe
advocate.
it isn't.
Would it need?
Maybe it's all. You know, I don't know if anybody gets sued on this. That would be one of the things I would appreciate.
Yeah. So, oh, I'm sure they do. Okay. Well, thank you for letting us do the video. At the beginning of the video, I promised that we would talk a little bit about why this is so important and why my partner and I are developing a device that will allow patients who can't see the bottoms of their feet to see the bottoms of their feet. This next slide is a really important one, and it shows you absolutely how many people have diabetes on the planet. This is an international study that was done. And the problem is that about 50% of all the diabetics are going to develop neuropathy, and over 30% of them will also develop a foot ulcer. And these foot ulcers, which are open sores, can become infected, which leads to amputations. What they found was that 80% worldwide of lower extremity or leg amputations that occur are due to diabetic-related complications. And so what we know is that it's very important to catch them early, and the one big takeaway is that diabetic patients or patients with any type of neuropathy need to be visually checking the bottoms of their feet every single day to look for problems. Now, the Centers for Disease Control in the U.S. puts out every other year a National Diabetes Statistics Report. And what this one shows us is how many people in the country, over 34 million people, folks, that's 10% of the U.S. population, is diabetic. Many of those aren't even diagnosed yet. Now, we also hear about people who are pre-diabetic, and we're talking about over 30% of the adult U.S. population that are headed towards diabetes, and we know all the complications that can come with that. So of all those people, of the 30%, a lot of those people are going to develop these foot ulcers, and again, about one amputation of a foot or a leg is happening every 20 minutes. So you don't want a beautiful, healthy foot like this becoming neuropathic from the diabetes and ending up looking like this, which is a foot that is really difficult to walk on. So please, if you're diabetic, get in the habit of checking your feet every single night for any kind of wound or anything different.